President Trump decided to withdraw from the Paris climate change agreement, I said the move symbolized that the United States was essentially retiring from its role as global leader. I was intrigued this week to hear somebody essentially offer to take up that mantle. Chrystia Freeland is Canada's foreign minister, and in a very strong, important speech to her nation's parliament, she said Canada was deeply disappointed by the president's climate decision, although she didn't mention him by name, and provided a solution. Minister Freeland suggested the ways that Canada could step up its global leadership. She joins me now. Welcome.
Great to be with you, Fareed.
You spoke in the speech almost elegically about the important role America had played in creating and sustaining this open international order. But you think it's basically moved on, that America has withdrawn from the world?
It's not my job to make predictions, Fareed. I did say in my speech, and I mean this so sincerely, how grateful I am, how grateful Canada is for the tremendous role the United States has played over the past 70 years in building this rules-based liberal international order. And I think that, first of all, I think we maybe don't say that often enough to our American friends. And I also think that people of my generation, and perhaps yours, Fareed, we were lucky to be born into these 70 fat years. And I'm not sure we always fully appreciate what the peace and prosperity was that liberal rules-based international order created, and the horror that came before it. And really what I said to Canadians this week is, let's not take that for granted. As a country, we Canadians, we have to set our own sovereign course, and our course is to double down on that rules-based international order. We as Canadians helped to build it in the post-war period, and we are really committed as a country to doubling down, to help to renew it, to help to make it even stronger in the 21st century, doing things like bringing the great emerging powers, including China, in, and certainly, Fareed, doing things like being strongly committed to the Paris Accord and to fighting one of the great new menaces we're aware of today, which is climate change. So that's where Canada absolutely stands.
Why do you think there is such resonance for the idea of America first, of withdrawing from the world? I mean, there's always been an isolationist streak in the United States. You're a student of this, but you're also dealing with the political system in Canada. Do you feel that same pull where maybe working class people feel the system hasn't delivered for them recently, and so they just want to tear it down?
I think that is an excellent point, and I actually addressed domestic economic policy in my speech this week, which is not that usual for a foreign policy speech. But I really strongly agree with what you've said, Fareed. I think that the middle class here in Canada, as in many other Western industrialized countries, including the United States, is feeling hollowed out. It's feeling betrayed by this global economic order. And what I believe, what my government believes, what we say to Canadians is, it is not, blaming foreigners is always easy. Foreigners always make an easy target. But whether it is trade deals or immigrants, they are not to blame for the problems of our middle class. We really believe that the solution lies in domestic policies. If you are shooting for the wrong target, you're not going to get a solution that works.
Do you worry that as the United States does seem to be retreating, America first, it'll cause a lot of instability? There are parts of the world where America's guarantees, its activism, has had the effect of kind of calming the waters. If it withdraws, are we in for a rocky ride?
We absolutely recognize the central, indeed the indispensable role the United States has played in maintaining this rules-based liberal international order and in building it. And, as Canadians, the argument that I want to make, to my American friends is to say, we know that for Canada, this international order has hugely benefited us, and we are committed to building it, to restoring it for the 21st century. We think that it has brought great benefits to the United States, too. And we really think it benefits the United States to really stay at the table. And, as you said, Fareed, our Prime Minister said we're deeply disappointed about the Paris Accords, and we just look forward to continuing to work with our American partners. The world needs the United States, and we think the United States stands to benefit a great deal, really by maintaining its leadership role in the world.
But if not, you think countries like Canada and Britain and France might be the new leaders of the Western world?
Well, what I said to Canadians this week, Fareed, is we need to chart, as Canadians, our own clear and sovereign course. Every country makes its own national decisions. We're lucky to live in a democracy. America's lucky to be a democracy. So, it's for the American people to choose their course. Equally, it's for the Canadian people to choose our course.
Foreign Minister of Canada, Chrystia Freeland. Pleasure to have you on.
Great to talk to you, Fareed.